Did it? Hi, my name is Beth, and I am Chief Product Officer here at Open Context. I am delighted to walk you through one of our two GitHub actions that we recently released. You can find our GitHub actions in the GitHub Marketplace. All you need to do is do a quick search for Open Context, and you'll see one about artifacts and one about SBOMs. Today, we're going to talk about artifacts. So when I think about artifacts, I think about tribbles. I know, sounds a little funny. Follow me here. Tribbles have a tendency to grow, populate, and you end up with so many tribbles and you have no idea what to do, where they are, and what you really need to do is contain them. Now, the difference is you needed to contain the tribbles so that they didn't do harm to the enterprise. In this case, what you need to do is just understand what artifacts are there available, what's the source code that they are tied to, what that lineage is, as well as who are the people that you might need to talk to, just in case something goes a little kerflooey. And that's exactly what we've done with our GitHub action, is we allow you to capture that artifact at the point of release when you're doing your CI/CD system within the current workflow that you already have in place, which is great, right? You don't need to think about it in a different way. And what we're going to show you is we're going to show you the source code, the artifact, and the people. Cool. So let's take a quick look into the application so that you can see what that might look like for you when you're using our product. So as you see here, you have the homepage. Now, in this case, there's a variety of different ways that you can track things. Now, it depends on what your problem is, what you're trying to track down. We're going to go through a super simple path where we just want to take a look at containers. So in order to look at the containers, we're going to go to the platform components. You can think of platform components as your infrastructure. Simple, right? And here you're going to see retail app v0.3.3. So we're going to take a look at that. So in taking a look at that in our demo environment for our fictitious company, Scatterly, what you're going to see is we have retail app context page for the v.3.3, the image, the container. You will see over here, you're going to see the link. You have a link to the GitHub action run, and that's going to click all the way through, depending on the permissions that you have. You also can identify over here that you have ALChen99, who is the person who kicked everything off. They're the person who's associated with that artifact. Okay. And next you have the URI. So you can see that it's a Docker package, and that allows you to go and see the actual package where this is stored. Next, as we scroll down, we're going to see some of the dependencies. Specifically, we see that the retail cloud run is a dependency of this particular image. They are connected, they are tied, there is lineage there. And in looking at the graph is the most deeply satisfying view of data lineage. What you see is you see the retail app, your source code, has a dependency of the image, which has a dependency of Cloud Run. Now, this is really great. But one of the things that we mentioned is, don't you want to know all the people associated with it? And to that, I tell you, yes. Let's take a look at what I find to be the most deeply satisfying graph when it comes to demonstrating the data lineage, aside from the one we just looked at. And by doing that, we're going to go to Cloud Run. So when we look at the context page for Cloud Run, one of the things that you're going to see here is that you have PagerDuty. So if you're using Open Context and you've set up a PagerDuty integration, you may have been pinged. And so you got here through Cloud Run from a PagerDuty page. And if you want to see what are the things that are connected, what can possibly be impacted by performance degradation that is associated in some way, shape, or form with Cloud Run, we can simply take a look at this graph. What this graph is going to show you is all the things that depend on Cloud Run, i.e., all the things that could be impacted. You're going to see the source code, the retail app. You're going to see the image, which we know is a container. You're going to see the team. So now you know that if there's any issues, you will need to reach out to the engineering Raccoon cloud team. Yes. And then you're going to identify that this is GCP. So if you're multi-cloud, you have a way to track which cloud is impacted, which artifacts are associated with the code. You can start to triangulate all the appropriate people that you need to be talking to. And the best part about this is you get to grow that lineage as you're growing your code base. So you don't have to think about like, hey, did we track that? Did we track that artifact? Has something fallen through the cracks? No, it is just part of your workflow. It has created the data lineage and no one else has to take an action unless you need to look something up and identify if there's a problem, you're doing some investigation, or you're just curious about all the artifacts that you have of a particular category in your system. Pretty cool, huh? So that is a taste of what it is that we have for, or what it is that we're doing with our GitHub action that is creating data lineage with artifacts. For more on that, look for Alice Chen, our CTO's video that goes deep into the bits and bobs of how to set everything up. Awesome. With that, we will talk to you later. Slán bio.